Harry, let's start with you. NC State, UCLA. That is tonight. The San Diego County Credit Union Holiday Bowl. It's at Petco Park. First college game ever played where the Padres suit up and play. I'm going UCLA. The spread is 2. NC State is favorite. 59.5 points expected to be scored. UCLA will have the fans. They're not great against the pass, but I think they could hold their own if they don't give up the big plays. I like that Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He may have been the best quarterback in conference at the position, but even though he made second team, Zach Charbonneau, 1137 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns this season. They're going to grind it out. Both Carolina and Louisville had big games rushing against. They had running quarterbacks, and they took advantage. Carolina had 300 yards rushing. Louisville had 215. I'm taking the Bruins 6-0-1 against the spread in the last 7. Chip Kelly's team gets the win 33-27. You're going against me, Harry.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Wolfpack. I think they closed the season strong. They won 4 of the last 5. Only loss was to Wake Forest by 3 points on the road, put up 42 points in that game. The quarterback, Devin Leary, has had a great season, 35 touchdowns, 5 picks. You mentioned Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Sal. He has had a great season. Product out of Las Vegas. UCLA put up nice numbers offensively, but they beat up on a bunch of bums basically in all their wins. Give me NC State, the Wolfpack. I'm going to lay the 2.
All right, but why, if he's a product out of Las Vegas, you would think he'd be the betting choice there. I mean, why did you add that anyway?
Well, just throwing it in there. That okay. Me and my friend Jimmy Kimmel used to live there.
Oh, your friend Jimmy Kimmel. I forgot about that. Yes, he mentioned you on every broadcast now. Almost every time he's on. The last time he was on this year, he mentioned. All right, Minnesota -5, 45 against West Virginia, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. This is at Chase Field in Phoenix. Harry, have you looked at prices for this? Look up prices, how much these are. I mean, you got to be going this game. I can't believe you're not scalping right now. Not doing it. All right, I'm taking West Virginia. They beat Texas. They beat Harry's beloved Iowa State. They lost to Oklahoma only by 3. They beat LIU, Parlay Kids, 66-0. That's got to count for something. Maybe it doesn't. I like this Jared Dagey. Threw for almost 300 yards, 3 scores against Texas. Minnesota's 4th appearance in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, 0-3. Last showing was 2010. But anyway, PJ Fleck's team, not any of their 3 leading rushers are going to play this game. We know Ibrahim went out early. That was against Ohio State, right? 2 of the top backs on the squad went down with season-ending injuries. This is a team that was snubbed versus a team that had to win their last 2 to be eligible. And you would think the snub team has a chip on their shoulder, but it doesn't work out that way a lot. It's going to be tough for PJ Fleck's squad to get up for this December 28th game. I am taking West Virginia plus the points. Parlay Kid, you're going with probably the better team, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking Minnesota, Sal. They had a very underrated season this year at 8-4. They gave Iowa all they could handle in a very close loss. They beat Wisconsin at the end of the season in a very impressive win. Because what does Minnesota do well? They run the ball. It doesn't matter who runs it for them. They pound the ball. They do have a 4-year starting quarterback there in Tanner Morgan, who certainly has had his ups and downs over his career. Actually, more ups earlier in his career, more downs later in his career. But the guy's a winner. He knows how to win. And West Virginia actually is missing their stud running back. So they're going to have to take to the air more. And Minnesota has one of the top pass defenses in the country. So it's going to be very tough to throw the ball on this Minnesota defense. And I think this team is out of this Big Ten, 8-4 overall record, quality wins across the board for this team. They're the 18th ranked defense in the country. They're going to be tough to beat here. I'll take them given the 5.
Yeah, like I said, between the opt-outs and who's going pro and who has COVID, and then you have to figure out who cares, who actually cares about these games. And yes. I don't know. That's really the main reason I'm taking Jared Dagey and the points here. All right, Clemson -1, 44. This could be a good game. Iowa State, the Cheez-It Bowl, our friend Randy's favorite Cheez-It Bowl. Brother Bry, I'm going Clemson. You got no Iowa State. You got no Breece Hall, was declared for the pros, right? So that takes 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns out of the lineup. Clemson does not score. We get it. We saw what they did all year. A disappointment for Dabo's team, 9 with 3 losses. but second in scoring defense. And I think that's good enough against this Iowa State team. I think it's going to be a 21-16 type game. I'll take Clemson. Cyclones lost the last two Cheez-It Bowls, Brother Bryce, 70-18 combined in the last 2 years. This is not like 15 years ago. Well, also 1-6.
One was Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. That's right. 1-6 also against the spread in the last 7 neutral site games. You also like Clemson.
Yeah, I love Clemson in this game. Look, when they announced the bowl games, Clemson and maybe Notre Dame are the 2 bowl games I like the best. And one thing we know, Clemson's defense was phenomenal all season long. We saw it in the first game, right, against Georgia. But they won their last 5, including a blowout win against Wake Forest. So their offense seemed to come on a little bit at the end of the game, end of the season. So after they didn't cover the spread in the first 7 games of the season, they covered in 4 of the last 5. Iowa State, disappointment for Harry all season long, costing Harry tons of money all season long. And like you said, I know they'll have Purdy in this game, but they'll be without their best player in Breece Hall. So even without the great coordinators that are leaving Clemson to go on to Oklahoma and some other programs, I would trust Dabo. I think Dabo, he's probably frustrated after a 9-3 season, or maybe he's happy with the way things turned out. But I think him and Clemson have a big game this game. I'm actually surprised it's still -1. I think they win this by more than a touchdown.
All right. That'll be a fun one. Maryland -3.5, 54.5 versus Virginia Tech in the New Era Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. I'm going Virginia Tech. They probably should be getting more points here, considering who's out for them. The line is fixed a little. Lots of players opting out, mainly because it's Yankee Stadium. They don't want to deal with the sewage and the arrogant Bronx surroundings. I imagine that's why. But quarterback Braxton Burmeister's out. Trey Turner, Tavion Robinson, receivers are out. Raheem Blackshear, star running back, is going to play, even though there are a couple guys entering the NFL draft. Brock Hoffman, offensive lineman, but they're going to play in the game. I don't know. Maryland lost 6 of the last 7 before beating Rutgers. I like this Connor Blumrick. Everything I read about the Texas A&M transfer, he's going to run the ball a lot. He's averages like over 6 yards a carry, around 6 yards a carry. Maryland played 4 teams inside the top 10 and didn't do well against them. Talia Tagovailoa was intercepted 9 times and sacked 11 times in those games. 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 on grass. That is Maryland. I'm taking Virginia Tech plus the points. It might be a mistake. Harry, you think it is a mistake? You're going Maryland.
Yeah, I'm going to take Maryland's first bowl game since 2016. I think, like you mentioned, Sal, where are these players' heads, coaching staff? I think Maryland's pumped up for this one way more than the Hokies are. Tua's brother, Talia, you mentioned, had 3,500 yards this season, 24 touchdowns, had at least 1 touchdown in every single game. No quarterback, like you said, no Burmeister for Virginia Tech. He had 14 of the 17 passing touchdowns for the Hokies this season. Give me the Terps.
All right. Oklahoma, Oregon. Let's move right along. Valero Alamo Bowl. Oklahoma 4.5-point favorite, 59.5 points expected against Oregon. This should be a fun one. Let me add something to it. So you have opt-outs, you have COVID guys, you have pros, and then you have coaches. Brother Brian, you mentioned earlier, coaches just leaving. Oh, going out. No Cristobal on this one. No Lincoln Riley. I think Stoops is stepping in. Bob Stoops for actually coaching this game for Oklahoma. Then you got Kayvon Thibodeau, who could be the consensus #1 pick out there, out for Oregon. Their wide receivers out. He's going pro. Their secondary is a little thin, but Oklahoma's entire defense, including the coordinator, is out. He has moved on. Linebackers Nick Benito, Brian Asamoah opting out, Perrion Winfrey, Isaiah Thomas, they're going to the NFL. The Ducks, I'm taking the Ducks. They play well against teams with winning records, especially against the spread, 9-4 against the number. 34-31, good, fun, sloppy game. You're going to see the holes in the secondary on both sides. I'm taking Oregon. Brother Bry, you like Oklahoma?
Yeah, 34-31. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I kind of like the over in this game too. But like you said, both teams are a little bit of a mess in this one. But I think Oregon is the bigger mess, with no Cristobal, no Thibodeau. Like you said, I don't know what receivers they have left on this team. They barely have much of a secondary left. And I do think now for Oklahoma, even missing Lincoln Riley, I do think it's really cool bringing Stoops back in for this one game to coach this one game. That's something I think a little bit more special for this team, and that'll mean something for this team to go out there and get the win, especially Oklahoma team probably feels really betrayed. I mean, it's one thing for Cristobal to leave Oregon. Some people might say good riddance, but it was another thing for Lincoln Riley to kind of just up and leave his team. I think I expect Oklahoma's offense which is pretty much intact for this game, to have a big game. I'm expecting Caleb Williams to have a monster game here. So I think Oklahoma covers this 4.5 points.
All right. I do like Caleb Williams. Just think it's a little too much spread wise. Another one that went up, Tennessee was 4.5, 5, now 5.5 point favorite versus Purdue in the Music City Bowl. 64.5 is the over under. I like this Josh Heupel, what he's done. He brought this offense from 108 to 8 nationally. Hendon Hooker, 2,600 yards passing, basically 26 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Pretty damn good. Now, I know Tyon Evans is out for the Vols. Purdue is out. Big stars, too. Wide receiver David Bell. Karl Laftis, the defensive lineman. Purdue had some weird wins this year. They upset Iowa and Michigan State, but I think they caught them in hangover games. I don't think they're as good as their record or those upsets indicate. Tennessee, 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 against the Big Ten, and 6-2 against the number in the last 8 neutral site games. Lots of points, 41-30 final parlay kid. I like them. You like them. Johnny Knoxville is going to be betting them. I know for sure. We will hear from him. You like Tennessee as well.
I do, Sal. I'm a believer in Coach Heupel, Sal. He's an excellent coach. Wherever he goes, he wins. I think he's going to have his team very laser focused for this game. And Sal, I think it does kind of play out as a home game here, right? The game is in Nashville, Tennessee. Yep. So it's kind of playing out as a major advantage here for Tennessee. They should be packed with Vols fans. As you said, they averaged 39 points per game, which has been tremendous improvement over them in the last few years. David, look, this line, Purdue, Sal, was a 3 or 4 point favorite at one point. This line has swung almost 7, 8, 9 points because Purdue is missing several of their key players, especially receiver David Bell. It's hard to replace 90-plus catches and 1,300 yards on an offense that likes to throw the ball. Let's take the Vols. Again, I'm a believer in Coach Heupel. He's done a great job. I think they're going to be more focused, and they are more healthier and more full team at this point.
There you go. All right, we went over 6 games there. What's the over-under, Brother Bry? How many are canceled before the season posts this podcast? Like 1.5?
1.5. Yeah, 1.5. Yeah.
Very sad.